our world. Generational wealth. Generational wealth. Generational wealth. What is generational wealth? We asked our communities, and this is what they had to say.
For me, generational wealth is passed down knowledge from relatives or any family members, or even like any ancestral people that have come before you, that is, used to help you progress in the times that you're living in. So I think it is very updated, it's very current, it is existing in real time. So any type of knowledge or resources from people who are here living now, being able to provide that information and pass it down from generation to generation, how you maintain the wealth. That's what it means to me.
This campaign to create awareness to generational wealth is brought to you by the Department of Neighborhood's Generational Wealth Initiative, the Washington Housing Finance Commission, and Rainier Avenue Radio World. Create your generational wealth for you and the future of your families.
Welcome to the Fitness Corner. I'm your host, Mark Bryant, and you're going to get a whole total body workout on my show, starting off with a warm-up, aerobics, strength training, cool down, and stretching. Every Friday from 11:30 to 12, right here on Rainier Avenue Radio.
1, 2, get down.
What's up, big and little homies? This is Masvita Mara, host of Seattle Sports Weekly on Rainier Avenue Radio World, your one-stop shop for Seattle sports. We cover preps, we cover college, we cover pro, we cover it all. Huskies, Mariners, Seahawks, Garfield, South, Roosevelt, Metro, King County. This is where you want to listen to for all the sports that's happening in Seattle. Seattle Sports Weekly on Rainier Avenue Radio World.
Dealing with COVID-19 is uncharted territory, and everyone has different challenges. People may feel anxious, down, or overwhelmed. For some, these feelings can lead to changes in sleep patterns, an increased use of alcohol or drugs, or withdrawing from the people around them. If you know someone who's having a hard time coping, you can help by reaching out to talk and listen. To learn more about how you can help someone in need, call the Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 800-273-TALK. Brought to you by the state of Washington.
You know you can't get enough of Rainier Avenue Radio.
Well, hello, everyone. Hello, and thank you for joining us here at Real Estate Night. Woohoo!
Hey, can you see me?
Yes, we can see you.
Oh, I can't see everybody. What happened?
Okay. Well, they're there. We're here.
Okay.
Well, how's everybody doing? And this is our, second week here in January 2024. And we're coming at you with some football tips on housing and homes, everything else. So, so anyways, how's everybody doing? How are you doing, V?
I'm good. Sadly, our University of Washington Huskies lost yesterday in the national championship game against Michigan. So that was not a good show to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. My son Kyle was here with his girlfriend. We were watching, and it got so bad he just got up and left probably before the game even ended.
Oh my goodness! Well, as you know, both me and Violeta are Huskies, so we were like, so it's a big thing for us. I've been to that.
It is a huge thing, but you know what?
Yeah,
the Huskies. I mentioned this in a Facebook story that I shared today. 14-1. The Huskies were the division champs. Mm-hmm. So, and Michael Penix, he was nominated for a Heisman Trophy. Wow. And then all these great guys on the team. Odunze, amazing receiver, just surrounded by a lot of talent on that team. And then our coach was the best.
Yeah.
And I know he's going to get these guys geared up for next year. A lot of outgoing seniors, but it'll be good again next year. We're going into a different division, so I don't know what's going to happen, but right now it's all about playoffs the end of the season.
Yes.
Seahawks, Broncos.
So that's what we're going to talk to you about today. We're going to talk about all things football. We're going to be talking about how to prepare your house for football playoffs. There you go, V. Football playoffs and Super Bowl. Yeah, that would be great. So, it's that time of year, there's Christmas and people get together. Thanksgiving to get together for football. Christmas they get together for football. And now we got playoff season all the way to the Super Bowl. And it's a big thing. So whose house do you go to? Whose house do you go to? V, who do you go to watch the football games at? Is there a go-to house? Who's the go-to person?
It's now our house. My husband just got a 77-inch TV for Christmas.
Okay.
So it fills a whole wall where our fireplace is.
Okay. See? Okay, this is a big thing. So, some people, it's their house. Some people, they go out to bars and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But, my funnest places to watch football is at somebody's house because there's food, there's camaraderie, there's yelling, there's excitement, there's drinks, and we're all there in one accord. So, that house is a special house. So, Violeta, you have a very special house.
We have a very special house. And, we just got into the house last year. We have an open concept main floor. So we can have a ton of people there watching from the kitchen all the way into the living room. So it's great. It's great. I love having people there, a lot of cooking and always a lot of food, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you have the only way to be a good host during a football game is to have the right food, right drinks, enough room, so on and so forth. So I want to talk about a little bit about I have a list of what are the best, the 10 essentials for
okay. All right.
Days. But first of all, let's just talk a little bit about why we're correlating this to housing. A lot of people go out there and they buy houses and they forget that they're social butterflies or they're just party animals, and if you have a house and you're into football and you're thinking about, hey, I like to have my family over. I want to have football games here. I want to have Christmas over here, birthday parties. You need to think about a house that has a good rec room and a good kitchen or an open concept where you can have kitchen plus rec room. So V, can you tell us a little bit about the houses that you're seeing nowadays? Is it more suitable for football games and social gatherings?
There's a lot of places I've seen with outdoor space. You can have an outdoor kitchen.
Yes.
Outdoor TV. I've someone I know just has a house like this, and you just bring out a bunch of chairs, TV's up a little high. There's an outdoor grill and kitchen area, and then again a lot of food, and you won't be spilling wine or beer or whatever inside the house. You can just do that outside.
Yes.
But
So in other words, when you and Dan bought your house, you went through the house, you saw the different houses, and you are a football family, and you guys do have parties at your house. Was that part of what you were searching for when you were looking for a home?
Sure. Yes. The main floor that we could open up and a backyard that we could spill into, or, a deck area. And so we can have a lot of activity down below, besides there's always a before and after the game activities. So we have cornhole ramps. We have an axe throwing thing. We've got bocce ball. We've got all kinds of different badminton, cricket. I mean, horseshoes and what do you call that? Croquet.
Okay. Wow. I love your house. Okay. So really quick then. So you mentioned that Dan has a 77-inch television that you bought him for Christmas. So now, am I correct? In some of the older homes, TVs weren't that big. The TVs rolled around on a little cart before, and then we put in the room, and we put them over a fireplace or whatever. But or how are the new houses now? Are new houses more applicable, or older houses more applicable for these large TVs and appliances?
Well, nowadays there's a lot of fairly new construction. I've looked at new construction and things after around the 80s, built in the 80s, 90s, so people have upgraded. And there's a lot of smart appliances, like a TV, in those homes. So people do think about the sound system, TV, how big can you possibly have a TV in your new space?
Yes.
But, is there room for a bar? Daniel, did you get my my PowerPoint that I sent out? Because there's also, I was at a house where they had, never mind. I was at a house where they converted a den area, a den and dining room area. Just combine those two rooms. They put in a wet bar,
wow,
a TV, and the wet bar seats about 7 people.
Wow.
A TV in there, and then you go into the dining room and you have your table, or you could have a pool table.
Wow.
And and a refrigerator in that area as well, so you can always have ice ready. And
exactly.
It's fabulous. So if someone had an old fashioned, those old Coca-Cola dispensers, like a vending machine type of thing, they had that in their space. So these man caves can be really fun and really a neat place to host games and birthday parties or just any weekend gathering. A lot of interesting things out there that people are doing to combine rooms to make it one big space dedicated for entertainment. And like when I was saying sound system, you can have the TV karaoke playing also.
That's what you love. That's true. That's true. Yeah, my sister got me a karaoke machine for Christmas. That is not a joke. It's not a joke. So
what is that, number 10 karaoke machine?
The other ones keep getting obsolete. The first ones have the little A cassette, that little cassette you put it in, and the other ones had, great big giant, $2,500 microphone. And now I've got one that I can actually put over my shoulder and carry it to every party. So, But one thing, when I bought my house here, my house was built in 2005. They had a surround system already built into the house. So I have the woofers, I've got the tweeters, I've got everything surround sound. I just had to hook up. So nowadays, you can find a house where, there is a sound system, or, if you're building one, put one in. Now, I don't think it's very hard to put a sound system in. I remember when I was growing up, my father had every sound system equipment, speakers like 3 feet tall all over the house. And he was always playing Marvin Gaye or the Temptations or something was going on. And it was amazing. Well, nowadays our speakers are that small and they just blast. And so, but I do have stuff in the ceilings. I have stuff in, my walls and stuff. We got speakers everywhere because it's a must. Now, when it comes time to football, I mean, I'm sure it would really behoove somebody to have woofers or have surround sound.
Oh,
But really quick though, V, I've got a list of things here. Let me go ahead and show a list of the essentials, 10 essentials for game day at your house.
Okay.
And there you go, Daniel. I'm not quite sure if you can pull that up really quick. But I mean, it's very important that if you are prepared for game day, that you actually get these utensils and make sure you have a checklist so that you can go ahead and pull them up. But while Daniel's pulling that up, let me go ahead and just talk about some of the 10 essentials for Sunday game day. First of all, snacks. Snacks are very important. They can range anywhere from pizza to chips, to pigs in a blanket, so on and so forth. But it's important that you have food out, and it's not a sit-down meal, but food that is out on a table for people to actually, they can run, in between breaks or, timeouts, they can go run and get something quickly and safely. So make sure you've got snacks that last the whole duration of the game, before and afterwards. And we tell people, hey, if you're going to go to a football game, don't go eat a full meal before you get there because you'll have nothing to do. You won't have room for snacks. So drinks, you want to make sure you have plenty of drinks. Beer is always a necessity, wine or what have you. But always have something, either water or something for people, and beer, the entire amount of the game. So enough for your patrons to have some drinks until the very end of the game. Make sure you have comfortable surroundings. So, of course, I got my jersey on. I don't know if you see this. I got my jersey on, my old Russell jersey on. But, you want to have comfortable surroundings. You want to have enough chairs. So if you're expecting 15 people over, make sure you have more than just one couch. Make sure there's room for everybody to sit and to view the game comfortably. Okay. So if you have to go out and get some rented chairs or something like that, or some rented tables, go ahead and do that. It'll really, really make a big difference. The game itself. So make sure, sometimes the people assume that they're going to be able to see a playoff in their neighborhood. My sister came down here on Christmas Eve and we could not pull up the Seahawks game to save our lives. So make sure that you do find that you can actually stream your playoff game that everybody's coming to see.
Yeah.
Make sure you test that. You get that figured out way in advance, not the day of. You don't want to be fiddling with your remote control the day of. Make sure you have a good TV. Now we can all go to Violeta's house and Dan and get a 77-inch good television to watch our game on, but make sure you have a good television. You know, if you're going to have 20 people over, make sure you don't have just a little small television. Make sure that you can accommodate the visual aspect of the game. A sound bar. So a lot of times, like I was talking about, if you've got some woofers, if you've got a sound bar, I've got a Bose sound bar that I have on the bottom of my television. It enhances the sound. Make sure, when you got 23 people screaming in your house, make sure that everybody will be able to at least hear the game. Good seating, like I talked about before, team decorations. No, I don't do all this, but if you want to put your favorite jerseys or your favorite colors, like, green and blue or blue and orange, go ahead and take care of that. Host accessories. So make sure that you have, make sure your house is clean. Make sure you have enough bathroom space. So if you're going to invite 20 people over, make sure you can accommodate 20 people. And so, that's basically it for your top 10, what you're going to need on game day. So make sure you're prepared. So V, do you have all the snacks and drinks?
I did. I had a charcuterie board. I had all the different types of nuts that you could possibly want, M&Ms and Skittles and popcorn. And that's just the snacks. And then we had several different types of dips, a spinach dip, a buffalo chicken dip, because we're kind of going, the big one that I had here was the Sugar Bowl. Yes. So that was in New Orleans. So we were kind of doing that theme, Southern theme. So we had chili. Yes. We had jambalaya. We had cornbread and rolls for the main meal, and something green. I think we had a salad, and then we had all those dips, pretzel bites, and cheese beer dip, and then all kinds of desserts. From chocolate things, and of course a lot of the Christmas cookies were still around.
Wow.
So, good timing for that.
Don't forget on a plane to come to your house. But it's something that if you are going to go to somebody's house, like if I go to Violeta's house, I cannot show up empty-handed. If you have an opportunity, call the host up and say, hey, what can I bring? I'm going to be there. I'm going to be. So if you can ask, is there some liquor I can bring? Is there some food I can bring? Or what can I bring? Utensils? Is there anything I can bring to help out?
Yeah.
And now
it's always easy as a fruit tray or a veggie tray.
Yes.
Love to show up too, so that I'm not cutting up so many things,
Yes. Now, what's the proper etiquette when you do leave somebody's house? What's the proper etiquette when the game is over?
When you leave somebody's house, you know what I do? I go to the dollar store. I buy a bunch of containers. And there's always a lot of food. And I say, and beforehand, we're Filipinos. We have Tupperware everywhere.
Yeah.
Or, margarine containers, sour cream, cottage cheese. Bring all that with you, because there's going to be food, and you're going to, I have a lot of Ziploc bags. And like I said, I buy those containers, send them home with people. I don't care if I ever see them again.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the thing is, if I'm a guest in somebody's house, when the game is over, don't just take your stuff and pack and leave. The proper thing to do is actually leave. Number one, don't make it an all-night thing. These people got to sleep and everything else. So know your etiquette. What's the proper time? Maybe an hour or so after the game, and make sure that the host, if they need any help cleaning, clean up. Yes, thank you, Daniel. Help clean up. Make sure whatever you bring, if you can help out, that would be great. Because there's going to be cans, there's going to be cups, there's going to be everything. Food flung, during the game and everything, vacuum. But make sure that you're a perfect guest, and if you can, ask the host if they do need some help.
Did you say vacuum?
Yes, vacuum.
Someone would vacuum for you?
Popcorn and chips all over the place. My goodness. but make sure that you have that. So V, just really quick, when it comes back to housing, if you are a football freak, I know there are a lot of Seahawk fans that are just freaks. When you buy a house and these things are important to you, should you or should you not make your realtor aware of your social habits, of your social life?
Absolutely. What I do with my clients is I sit down with them and I go through a priority list, both the husband and the wife, because the wife's going to be doing all the cooking, prepping, and clean up, So she has to be aware of what the husband would like to have and do. So you compromise,
Mhm.
husband and wife, on what you're going to look for. And then if it's in your price range, think about how much Tina has approved you for.
Mhm.
And then can you build in some additional funds to maybe switch out, upgrade a couple of rooms, combine a couple of rooms and make them into an entertainment space and add it to the loan price?
Mhm. Yes.
The loan amount, I mean. So yeah, that's quite doable. So yeah, you want to ask everybody involved what's important to you, and if it's the entertainment space, let's talk about that too.
Yeah, and what people don't realize, during COVID, we learned very quickly that it's a lot safer, a lot cheaper, a lot more entertaining just to actually do things at home. Such as, if you find a house that has an extra spare recreation room and an outdoor, place where you can actually throw a party, it's worth it to you to spend an extra $100 to $200 a month on something that's going to bring you pleasure. How much does it cost to go out to a stadium? How much are the tickets? How much is the food? How much are the hot dogs? How much is it for parking? You figure you spend like several $100s a month just on, going out to sporting events or going out to different places to entertain yourself. If you just spend an extra $200 a month on your own home, not only does the value of your house go up because you have a bigger area, but what happens is, don't forsake, if you do want a bigger house with a recreation room and an entertainment center, so on and so forth, spring for it. Don't think you're saving money by getting a smaller house. Because if you have to keep going over to your auntie's house, whose the food is not that good, it's 50 miles away, you have to drive home drunk and all that kind of stuff, it's not worth it. Go ahead and spring for the house, and if you have teenagers, you have kids and they want to have parties, have them over at your house, and spring for the extra footage. Go ahead and spring for something. Instead of the house being $550,000, maybe you'll get a house of $650,000, or, if you have a house at, $1.1 million, maybe you can get a house at $1.4 million with, the croquets and everything else in the backyard. It may not make much of a difference, but in your life and your value of life, it may make a difference for you having people over your house and you not driving all over the place trying to entertain yourself.
Yeah, and you're talking about kids having friends over. Think of your teenage kids. If you have a huge entertainment space, you negotiate with them. Okay, look, you can have some of your buddies come and spend the night after the game. You guys can hang out, play pool, do whatever you want to do, but you have to help clean up first. And then, have everybody bring a sleeping bag. If you don't have extra rooms for all the people that they'd like to invite, negotiate a deal with your son and say, you can do this, but you got to do that.
Yeah, it's true. Well, like my neighbor's house. My neighbor's house is it's just a little bit more square footage than mine right now. But I went over there because they just sold the house, and I went in, I looked in. They've got a movie theater over there. They got a movie theater over there. Okay, they've got like the hot tub. We got the hot tub and stuff. They got a big backyard. They got a fire pit. They don't really need to go anywhere. I mean, I saw Aquaman twice the last week. I saw The Color Purple. I spend about several $100s a month just going to the movies.
Yeah,
I mean, it's ridiculous. If I had a movie theater in my house, oh my gosh, I'd save so much money. So why wouldn't I spend another $100,000 for a room with, a jacuzzi, a hot tub, and a spare kitchen, everything else? People just don't think about that. But I mean, if you think about all the entertainment that we spend on nonsense, every time you leave your door, besides going to work, it's either for shopping. There's money involved. Every time you open that door and walk through it, besides going to work, there's money involved. So if you can keep yourself tied up in the house, it's really worth it for you. So as far as buying a house, don't be a cheapskate. Don't be a cheapskate.
Come to think of it, I do know somebody who did some theater seating in their home. So it's a little raised part in the back, or you can have a step down kind of thing. But then you have a curved row of seats, say 5 of them in one row and 5 in the next row. And each of them can be a recliner with a cup holder, and then a big screen TV in that room with a great sound system. I've seen that, and it's fabulous. It's really fun.
Oh, it is a blast. You have your own garden outside. You can walk around outside. You can tan outside. You can have your little swimming pool or wade pool or something outside, and just make your house a castle. Make your house a castle.
Yeah.
And at your castle, if you do it right, you can charge people to come to your football parties. I think that's the next step, Violeta. That's the next step.
Yeah. Or you'll never get these people out of the house.
Yeah.
you're going to have all these kids hanging out at your house all the time. I don't know about that.
Just charge them. But I mean, it's a big thing. So this football thing is a big thing for us because I mean, we can come to my house, you can watch television here, and if you want people to come over to your house, go ahead and get the bigger house or take a house and, renovate it so that it is your castle and you can actually entertain, watch a screaming football party.
Yeah. Next one, Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, exactly. So good. I think that we're almost done here, but are there any announcements that we have?
I don't have any offhand. Daniel says that no.
No. Okay. Great. Well, make sure to tune in next week. We're going to be talking about more fabulous real estate stuff that's going to help you when you buy your home or help you in your current home. And stay tuned here to Rainier Avenue Radio. We've got music, we've got entertainment, we've got sports, we've got anything your little heart desires. And it's tied in here to the community. So make sure you tune in not only to our show, but every show that is on this beautiful show. What do we got here?
Facebook Live, and now we're on Instagram.
Yes, we are.
So tune in. There's a lot of places, opportunities to catch us.
Yes, there is.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Violeta Strash with Coldwell Banker Danforth.
And I'm Tina Lombard, NMLS 147594. And we'll see you next time.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.